Down for Oakland, play fake, Palmer to the end zone, broke it up.
From bone-crushing hits to game-changing plays, these defenders made entire stadiums tense, leaving offenses second-guessing every snap.
Down a little later. Oh my goodness! Oh, Allen Hurns.
And here's where it gets even stranger. Defensive players aren't just reacting to the ball. They control the game. A single linebacker or safety can shift momentum in a heartbeat, forcing quarterbacks into mistakes, shattering running lanes, or flattening receivers before they even think.
Pass underneath and the flag.
He's on the move.
Fear isn't just about the hits. It's mental. When a player steps on the field and offenses hesitate, that's the mark of a legend. It's what separates a great defender from a truly feared one.
He'll get a shot at it. Whoa! Helmets out.
Stats don't tell the full story. It's the dread in the opposing huddle. Lawrence Taylor, the game changer. And now, let's talk about the man who changed everything, Lawrence Taylor. If you were an offensive lineman in the 80s, Taylor was your worst nightmare. Speed? Check. Power? Check. Reckless abandon that made you question every step? Absolutely. He didn't just play linebacker, he reinvented it. Taylor's style forced coaches to rethink the game of football. Suddenly, the usual blocking schemes weren't enough. They invented the two tight end set, just to try to contain him.
Lawrence Taylor for the Giants.
Imagine that, an entirely new formation because one player was that dangerous. Quarterbacks didn't just worry about the snap. They worried about Taylor exploding through the line before they even blinked. And the hits. Oh, the hits. 1 second, a running back thinks he's clear. The next, he's flat on the turf. The stadium roaring at the collision. Offensive linemen literally had nightmares about him. You could see fear in the eyes of entire units. And it wasn't just physical. Taylor had this aura, a presence that said, I own this field.
Going deep, it's going to be picked off by Lawrence Taylor. And he's got a lot of room to run.
But it wasn't just about violence. It was intelligence mixed with athleticism. He read plays as if he had written the book on them. Timing, angles, anticipation. He had it all. Modern linebackers still study his film, trying to capture even a fraction of that dominance. And fans? They loved it.
Cunningham in the arms of Lawrence Taylor.
Because watching Taylor play was watching football at a whole nother level. Brutal, fast, and utterly unpredictable. Some say he made the game more dangerous, more exciting, more alive. He made offensive teams rethink their strategy for decades. And every hit, every sack, every play reminded the league, Lawrence Taylor wasn't just a linebacker. He was the embodiment of fear.
The Giants got an early jump. Taylor missed by A.
Jack Tatum, the assassin. And here's where it gets wild. Jack Tatum wasn't just a defensive back. He was a walking warning. Nicknamed the assassin, he made every receiver think twice about catching a ball over the middle. You could almost hear a collective gasp in the stadium every time he lined up across from a wideout. Tatum's hits weren't just hard. They were bone-jarring, career-altering events. One infamous collision left a receiver paralyzed, a moment that instantly cemented his terrifying reputation. And Tatum didn't shy away from the fear he inspired.
And Jack Tatum was as good a collider that I've seen in a football uniform.
He once said he wanted his victims to wake up with train whistles blowing in their head. That wasn't bravado. That was a promise. But it wasn't just brutality. It was the psychology of fear. Quarterbacks hesitated, receivers flinched, and defenses rallied against his presence. He redefined what it meant to be a safety, forcing offensive coordinators to rethink routes and timing. Every snap became a mental chess match, with Tatum lurking like a predator, waiting for the mistake that would let him strike. His legacy? Fear as a weapon. Not just skill or athleticism, but pure intimidation. And when you look at the safeties who came after, you can see his influence. The swagger, the confidence, the readiness to hit like a hammer. Jack Tatum didn't just play defense. He haunted offenses for a decade. Deacon Jones, sack pioneer. And now, let's rewind to the fearsome foursome. Deacon Jones didn't just play defensive end. He invented terror. He's widely credited with coining the term sack, because when he got to the quarterback, it wasn't just a tackle, it was a statement. Every collapse of a pocket, every flying hit, every disrupted play screamed his dominance. Jones wasn't playing for stats. He was playing to destroy the rhythm of offenses. As part of the Los Angeles Rams' fearsome foursome, he terrorized quarterbacks week after week. His relentless pursuit meant that no matter the protection scheme, no one was truly safe. Offensive lines learned to double team him, and still, he found a way through. Some of his most memorable plays weren't just about speed or power, it was anticipation. He seemed to read the quarterback's mind, hitting gaps before anyone even noticed they existed. Running backs learned quickly that if the ball was coming their way, Jones wasn't just in pursuit. He was coming to end the play before it even began. And it's not just nostalgia. His influence is everywhere. Modern pass rushers study his techniques, his angles, and his relentless aggression. Jones proved that defense could change the outcome. Jones proved that defense could change the outcome of every game, and that one man, with skill and terror combined, could redefine an entire position. Reggie White, the minister of defense. And just when you think you've seen dominance, here comes Reggie White, the minister of defense. This guy wasn't just strong, he was a force of nature, a perfect blend of speed, power, and technique. He could overpower offensive linemen without even breaking a sweat, then turn and chase quarterbacks as if they owed him money. White's career speaks for itself. 198 sacks, game after game of destruction, leaving offenses scrambling and fans on the edge of their seats. But numbers alone don't capture the aura he brought to the field. He had his way of looming over offensive lines, making even the boldest tackles hesitate, and once he hit, you knew it would be memorable. Memorable plays? Too many to count. There were nights where quarterbacks tried to shake him off, only to get flattened seconds later, and the stadium would erupt with the sound of impact echoing across the field. White made it clear. Defense wasn't just about stopping plays, it was about sending a message. Fear is part of the game. And his influence? Modern defensive ends still model their moves after him. He didn't just play football, he defined what it meant to dominate a line, to combine intimidation with skill, to make opposing offenses question every snap. Reggie White wasn't just a player, he was a statement every time he stepped onto the field. Aaron Donald, modern era nightmare.
Burrow trying to keep it going, gets spun down, gets it away.
And here's where the modern era flips the script. Aaron Donald. Inside, where chaos is tighter and space is limited, Donald thrives. Speed, power, technique. He's got it all, and then some. Offensive lines have to double team him just to survive a single play, yet somehow, he still finds a way through. Donald doesn't just sack quarterbacks. He demolishes their timing, ruins running laps, and turns routine plays into disasters. Multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards prove his dominance, but watching him play, it's more than accolades. It's pure terror in motion. And the comparison to legends like Taylor, White, or Jones? He's different, but just as feared. Whereas they terrorize from the edge or linebacker spot, Donald controls the interior, making the heart of the offense a battlefield. Every snap is a gamble for opposing quarterbacks. One false move, and Donald's in, reshaping the play before anyone even realizes it. Ray Lewis, fearless leader. And here's where intensity meets legend. Ray Lewis wasn't just a linebacker. He was the heartbeat of a defense. Step onto the field with him, and you could feel the electricity in the stadium. His leadership wasn't about words. It was about presence. Pre-game rituals, dances, and that raw, almost primal energy had teammates and fans alike buzzing before the first snap. Lewis hit like a freight train, but it wasn't just the impact. It was the message behind every tackle. Quarterbacks learned quickly that if they tried to make a play against him, it wouldn't just be a loss of yards. It was a mental beating. Receivers flinched crossing the middle because Ray made every inch of the field feel like a trap. And his influence extended beyond the stats. The Ravens' defense became feared, respected, and downright intimidating because of his leadership. He elevated everyone around him, pushing defenders to hit harder, think faster, and never back down. His presence alone could change the momentum of a game, and you could see it. The way offenses hesitated, the way running backs angled around him. Ray Lewis wasn't just playing football. He was crafting fear into an art form. Every tackle, every roar from the sideline, and every game-ending stop reminded opponents that facing him meant entering a battlefield. He didn't just defend, he dominated, inspired, and terrified. Ronnie Lott, toughness personified. And now, let's talk about toughness. Ronnie Lott didn't just play safety, he embodied it. This was a guy who famously had a finger amputated just to keep playing. Imagine that. The level of commitment, the sheer grit, and the message it sent to every receiver and running back. Don't even think about testing me. Lott hit like a hammer, bone-crushing, spine-rattling, fear-inducing hits that made offenses second-guess every pass or run. But what made him legendary wasn't just physicality, it was the mental edge. You could see in the hesitation of a receiver, the flinch before crossing the middle, the respect that bordered on fear. Lott made every snap feel dangerous, every target a gamble. He changed the way safety position was played. It wasn't just about catching the ball or defending the deep route. It was about control, intimidation, and presence. Every team facing him had to account for the mental and physical threat he posed, and teammates fed off of it. Knowing Lott set the tone with every hit, every angle, every read. Ronnie Lott wasn't just feared because he was skilled. He was feared because he refused to back down, refused to be hurt, and refused to be challenged. His legacy is one of toughness, intimidation, and redefining what it means to be a defensive back in the NFL. Facing him wasn't just a game, it was a test of courage. And before we close, a quick shout out to a few more legends who demanded respect. Dick Butkus, Mean Joe Green, and J.J. Watt. Butkus embodied pure, relentless aggression at linebacker. Green anchored the Steelers' fearsome foursome with unmatched dominance. Watt? Modern chaos incarnate. An edge rusher who terrorizes quarterbacks. They might not be the main focus here, but every snap they played carried the same weight. Intimidation, precise, and the kind of fear that makes offenses hesitate. When you add them all up, these defenders didn't just stop plays, they reshaped games. Fear in the NFL is mental and physical, and these legends proved it. Every hit, every play, every snap was a lesson. Offense, beware. Their impact still echoes across every stadium. These defenders didn't just make plays, they made offenses rethink football. Fear, toughness, and skill defined them, and their legacy still echoes across the NFL. From Taylor to Donald, every snap was a warning. Face them at your own risk. So, what's your take? Drop a comment and hit subscribe.